Next up, we have our young adult fiction faculty, Aiden Thomas. Aiden Thomas is a Latino American author of young adult novels, best known for their book, Cemetery Boys, which was a New York Times bestseller and won numerous awards, including Best of the Year recognition from the American Library Association, Publishers Weekly, Barnes& and Noble, NPR, and School Library Journal. Aiden, go get 'em. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is so exciting. I feel like maybe I should have prepared a more serious piece to read to you guys. This is the actual original opening scene of the Cemetery Boys sequel, which is called Espiritu. Um, and it's just a silly little scene between Yadriel, our trans boy Brujo, and Julian, our ghost boy, chaotic demon of a child. For visuals stuff, I'm a brown trans guy with brown eyes, short dark hair, Superman glasses, a white shirt, beard and mustache, and a background full of books as usual. Get us started. If Julian had to listen to Feliz Navidad one more time, he was gonna die. Again. Carlos had been playing Christmas music in the mechanic shop since November 12th, and since he and his brother Rio lived above the shop, Julian had been hearing that Christmas music since November 12th. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Prospero año y felicidad. Oh my God, Julian groaned, thumping his forehead against the driver's window of the Stingray. Please don't do that, Yadril said calmly, rubbing the grease on the glass from Julian's forehead with a microfiber cloth. You need your brain cells. Pretty sure the wax fumes already handled that, Julian grumbled. I can't believe I'm stuck in forced labor with Christmas carols. They were watching the Stingray again, ever since Julian had been nearly sacrificed to a death god by Yadriel's uncle. Rio had kept him on a much shorter leash. Julian was also in serious trouble for stealing the Stingray, and he'd been responding with malicious compliance ever since, doing all the chores Rio had assigned him, but only as half-assed as possible. Rio had somehow managed to ground Yadril too, and now they were both trapped in a never-ending loop of chores. Keeping you busy keeps you out of trouble, Rio kept saying, like it was some sort of sage advice. Julian was about 2 seconds from setting the entire shop on fire just to get out of it. My fingers are officially ice cubes, and I think my hands are frozen. Seriously, it's like my body's gone on strike, Julian said, holding them out for Yadriel to see. His skin was dry and cracked. Fall meant it was finally below 80 degrees in East Los Angeles, and everyone was dressed in parkas, beanies, and furry boots. Even Carlos had swapped out his khaki shorts and white tees for Ben Davis pants and an FB County flannels. On top of that, he was tired and overwhelmed by school and chores. The world was just so much lately, like his brain couldn't stop buzzing. Julian grumbled as his cold hands fumbled with the soap bucket. God, I'm so done with this, he lamented. My life is a joke and it's written in Christmas music. Julian aimed a well-placed kick at the bucket like it owed him money. Water shot up in a perfect arc, splashing his jeans, his Chuck Taylors, and probably the last ounce of his dignity as Feliz Navidad continued to blare in the background. Julian let out a string of curses. He was ready to punt the bucket over the chain link fence when Jules. The word was short but firm. Julian turned to find Yadriel staring at him. His big, watchful brown eyes gave him a disappointed look. It's not the bucket's fault you're allergic to Feliz Navidad. Julian's chin dropped to his chest and he sighed, the weight of everything pulling at him. But then Yadriel's hands found his, the only anchor that could hold him steady and quiet his mind, if just for a second. Sorry, Julian grumbled, heat blooming in his cheeks. Julian was trying to do better and not get mad so fast because Yadriel didn't like it. But if he felt but he felt so constantly frustrated lately, it was hard to keep his temper in check. Yadril laughed softly, leaning in to adjust the collar of Julian's jacket as if that might save him from himself. You'll be fine, Yadril said. We'll get through this together. Julian shot him a teasing look, his annoyance melting away. It's a Christmas miracle you're still talking to me right now. Yadril rolled his eyes with a grin. Let me see, he said, quietly, calmly. Julian held out his hands and grinned as Yadril's fingers slid over his scarred up hands. Yadril was soft and gentle in every way that Julian was hard and rough. His hands were like silk against his calloused ones. Julian used to think softness was a luxury he couldn't afford, but now, every time Yadriel touched him, it felt like he was learning a new way to breathe. It felt so nice when their palms slid against each other, grounding and reassuring. After not being able to touch and fearing they never would, Julian took every opportunity he got to do it. Yadril's scent was a comfort like the calm after a storm. Copal, apples, and something uniquely him. Julian loved the way Yadril's hoodie felt like a blanket of warmth, especially when he pulled him close, like he was wrapped in a cloud of soft. Julian also loved how Yadriel's peach fuzz felt when he cupped his cheeks to give him a kiss, and the fact his lips were always velvety soft from all of the tubes of chapstick he kept around. He even loved running his fingers through Yadriel's hair, even though it always left his suavecito gunk on his hands. Yadriel hummed to himself. They're all dried out and cracked from all the water and cold, he said. I'll ask Lita for a salve. That should help. Julian huffed. You don't have to be nice to me when I'm being an asshole. I know, Yadriel replied, rubbing his palms against Julian's hands to warm them up. A surprised laugh jumped in Julian's chest, but now he felt like even more of an asshole. Yadriel glanced at his phone, eyes widening slightly as he read a notification. As much as I love our car wash date, I promised Lita I'd help with dinner. And you, Yadriel cut a wary glance to the door at the top of the stairs that led to the apartment. Julian scowled. Have more chores waiting for me? Yadriel gave him an apologetic smile and a kiss. Come over to my place tomorrow, he told Julian, who stole another kiss. And don't forget to ask permission first, Julian finished with a grumble. He's like a big walking rule book. The second I take a step, I have to ask for permission. It was like his brother and boyfriend had teamed up. Rio set the rules, and Yadriel made sure to enforce them. Julian huffed. I feel like I'm getting ganged up on. I'm just making sure you stay on Rio's good side. Impossible. Otherwise, you'll be washing cars until next Christmas. Julian huffed again, but Yadriel had a point. Ugh, fine. I'll see you tomorrow, Jules, Yadriel told him, but as he turned to leave, Julian caught him in one last bear hug. But I'll miss you, Julian protested dramatically. You will see me tomorrow, Yadriel laughed, trying to squirm out of his grip. But that's forever, Julian whined, burying his face into Yadriel's neck like he was sending Yadriel off to war. Yadriel dodged out of his arms, a grin tugging at his lips. I'll miss you too, he said, giving Julian one last kiss before dodging out of his reach. Julian pouted, his hands falling to his side. Text me when you get home. Yadriel laughed as he passed through the chain link gate. I always do. Julian sighed as Yadriel walked away, the noise of the shop feeling even louder in the absence of his boyfriend. He trudged up the stairs to the apartment, dreading whatever new task Rio had cooked up for him. The second the screen door banged shut behind him. Feliz Navidad. Ah! And that's the end.